What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be looking at some more whips. We're gonna be testing out some products from a company that goes by Nice CNC. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that we've kind of looked at a couple of their products in the past. So they got a hold of me and they sent me out some of their LED RGB light whips, which are right here in this box. So I believe these whips here, you can use either from a remote to control them, or I think they have an app as well, but we're gonna unbox them and take a look and see how everything works. Another cool thing about these whips is they're supposed to be quick disconnect, which we'll look into that in a little bit when we install them on the X3, which is behind the camera. What I mean about quick disconnect is the wires actually ran into the actual mount that bolts right to the cage. You can quick disconnect that, and there's little prongs that contact to send the signal, the power, I think it's just a positive and a negative, essentially a hot and a ground up to the whip. So you can quick disconnect it, take it off super fast. Another cool thing about these whips is I think you can connect them on top of each other. So if you have a bunch of them, you can have your whips as long as you want. Or if you want to just run a 2 or 3 foot stubby kicking off the back of your machine, you can do that too. Me personally, I kind of like the look of the smaller 2 to 3 foot whips that are kind of a little more stubby, that stick off the back of the machine. A lot of people run bigger ones like out in Glamis, and they'll run flags off the back of them. Drop down below in the comments what kind of whips you guys think look best on the machine. Anyways, let's jump right into this. Let's unbox these, take a look at them. These are supposed to be 6 foot whips, and this is like a 2 foot box. So see how they fit them in here. So it's raining pretty heavy here today. We're out in the shop, it's not insulated yet, so I apologize if it's picking up all that rain noise. I am using an actual mic today instead of just a mic on the camera. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. But if you guys are picking it up, please bear with me. I apologize about that. So as you see, we got them all unboxed, laid out on the table. So this is the piece I was talking about that's a quick disconnect. This is the piece that mounts to your actual roll bar mount itself. And then the wire runs up in here, and there's a couple prongs that connect to the whip itself, so you can take it off real quick. So then what you would do is, this is the bottom piece. This will be the start of your whip. You can pop these rubber caps off here. They give you a couple extra ones in case you lose these ones, but that makes them so you can extend them together and have a whip as long as you want. So all you do to extend these, which we'll talk about it more when we put it on the machine, you pull this quick coupler back, you line up these little white lines on here, and essentially just locks right in. So this will be mounted right to your machine, this bottom piece. If you want to take them off, you pull the quick disconnect, pull it off. You don't have to worry about disconnecting any wires or anything on the machine itself. It's pretty much as simple as that. So we have 2 of these 6 foot whips here. They come in 2 foot increments, so there's 3 of them to make one 6 foot whip. You get 2 of the base connectors. This is your main wire loom that you connect to your machine. It does have it labeled turn left, turn right, so you can wire these up with your brake lights and turn signals. Everything's labeled right on here, which I know you probably can't see from way back there, but it tells you which wire goes to where. Looks like white is your reverse, red's your brake, black will be turn signal right, and blue will be turn signal left. And then it pigtails off to go each side, so you can run dual whips. And then your normal ground and your hot wire to supply power to these things. Along with that, they give you extra cap, some zip ties, a couple more zip ties, another cap and zip tie, and some small roll bar clamps, like P clamps for these flags that they gave us. Got a couple American flags in here, which we probably won't put on. And then you get your remote and then some instructions. With that being said, let's go ahead, we'll flip the camera around and install these on the Can-Am. All right, so right behind me is my 2022 Can-Am XRC Turbo RR. I know that's a massive name, but that's what it is. So what we're gonna do is, I already have these mounts ran here. As you see, I got one on this side, one over on the opposite side for some whips that I've ran in the past. So we're gonna take the actual, I guess I'm gonna call this the base mount, or actual just mount, and we're gonna pretty much install one of these on each side here. That way, I don't know how I just put that in there. That way we can put the rest of the whip on top of this, and then we'll get some wires ran and get some power ran to them and test them out. So what you wanna do is go ahead and take the nut off the bottom, your normal washer and your lock washer, which is in my other hand, which I don't know how good you can see that. But then you just kinda feed this Johnny through here, tuck the little plastic tag down there with it, drop her down like so, and then just take your pigtail here, run your washers back up through it, and then your nut. Slide everything up on the threads, and then pretty much just snug her down. So I grabbed the other one. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the other side. All right, so we got both mounts on both sides here, as you can see there. What I'm gonna do now is run some wires so I can get some power to these things. But I have one of these switch panels on my machine, which you can see down here. I'm gonna tap into the fuse block. That way I can send power up to one of them buttons there, run the wires back to the actual whips themselves, and then get some power tied in. If you're not using one of these fuse block things, your situation might be a little bit different. You'll probably just tap into your ground and your hot off your battery, or if you have some sort of bus bar or easy access panel somewhere, all you need is a ground and a power to be able to get power to these things. So I'm not gonna go too far in depth with that. I'm gonna run the wires up to it, and then I'll flip the camera back on. All right, so I got the wires ran both sides down to the fuse block, and then ran up to one of these buttons here. I believe it's this one down here. I know you really can't see it because it's not focusing. And then that should kick on the power for the whips. So now all we have to do is take the actual bottom piece for the whip, and then there's a little white line on each side. You see that? There's one on the mount too. I'm gonna have to spin it around so you can see it a little bit better. You just line them up, and then you can snap it on. All right, so these are the little lines I was telling you about. There's one on here, one on the bottom. You just line them up, and then they click down into each other. That's how the prongs will be happy. All right, so me personally, I'm a bigger fan of the smaller stubby, like 2 foot, 3 foot whips, this is just a 2 foot section we got on here now. What I'm gonna do now is kick the power on by pressing the switch that's mounted up on the dash, and make sure these things are wired up and good to go. All right, so they seem to be working pretty much how they're supposed to. Click the switch, power came on for them. I do like how they're already red, which that's pretty much what I usually run all my stuff on. The rock lights, which aren't on right now, are usually red too, and then I always ran my other whips in red, just because I like the way that looks a little bit better. But yeah, this is it with the 2 foot chunk on. Let's go ahead and add a couple more pieces to it, make it a little bit longer, and then we'll break out the remote and kind of cycle through the different functions that these things have. All right, so this is it with 2 more foot added to it. So this will make a 4 foot whip. I mean, for the trails that we go down where there's some trees and stuff, I don't know if I would go anything higher than this in the trails. But I mean, if you wanted to, you still have 2 more foot that you could stack on top of this unit. So let's go ahead, break the remote out, and then kind of work through some of the different features this thing comes with. All right, so, hold on. All right, so they didn't send me a battery, so I guess we're not gonna try the remote out. We'll just leave her on red. I'm pretty sure that they usually send a battery because I don't know why they'd put this little plastic piece in there that separates the contact points on the battery from the remote so that way your battery doesn't die. I think they probably just forgot to put the battery in there. But yeah, this is them on red. I could probably go get a battery, but it's Sunday and I don't know anywhere in town that would have one ready to go. So we'll just get some B-roll shots of it on red. All right, as you guys seen, got the lights on, test them out a little bit, had them running out here for a while. Seemed to work out fine. The big thing that makes these ones cool is how you can quick disconnect them. The fact that you can just pull that thing, unplug it, and it be off is kind of a game changer. It'll make it super simple. If you're loading this thing into an enclosed trailer, or say you're putting it on a normal trailer and you just don't want your whips flopping around the whole time, pop them off. You don't have to worry about the wires and all that. Super simple. I am kind of bummed though that they didn't send me out a battery for the remote. I know they probably, the battery's supposed to come in it. They somehow, manufacturing quality control must have missed that. So we didn't get to go through and cycle all the functions. Great thing is I always run these on red, so I guess being a glass half full kind of guy, it's on the color that I would have put it on anyhow. But it would have been nice to run the RGB and show you guys the different features, the different functions of it, and the different modes they have. With the remote here though, they do offer a way to turn the brightness up and down, which since we don't have a battery, we can't cycle through that. And then you have, it's not really focusing. You do have some solid colors that you can quick click to, and then the speed and stuff, and then you can turn it on and off from this Johnny as well. But big shout out to Nice CNC for sending these out to me. I will have them linked down below in the description if you guys want to pick some up. And if you guys want to save 10% at checkout on these or whatever other products that they offer, because they make a pile of different products for Can-Am, motorcycles, Polaris. They might have something to fit your machine. But if you guys want to save 10% at checkout, use code JAKEA10. I'll have it right here on the screen so you guys don't mess anything up when you pick some of these up and save a little bit of money. Along with the fact that they are quick disconnect, another thing is that you can stack these on top of each other and have like a 10-mile long whip if you wanted to. You could pick up 50 of these and have the longest whip in the world if you wanted to. Which kind of gives me an idea for a video since we have a couple of these, so stay tuned for something in the future. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. It literally costs you nothing. It's free and it really helps out the channel. Be a good person. And if you guys want to stay up to date on future side-by-side content, make sure you subscribe, turn on that bell so you do not miss notifications. Until next time, guys, I'm out.